Hey everyone, I'm back again with another video, and this one is a two-story video, so be sure to stick around for the second story as well. The first one is titled, I'm being cheated out of my job after being cheated out of my wife. Please make sure to like the video and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Let's get right into it. I'm a pastor. I love my church family, and I'm heartbroken and furious about a decision that's been made for me. I will be losing my job as a pastor. My elder board has decided that because there has been infidelity in my marriage, that I am disqualified from the role of a pastor. Truthfully, I don't think this is biblical, but I just don't have the fight in me to argue with them on it right now. On one hand, I understand that to ask me to step down for a while makes sense. We are one of the fastest growing churches in our state, and our folks need a strong, confident, and stable leader. I cannot be that right now. No one could expect that from me, and I understand that. But this isn't just for a season, it's just over, for good. On the other hand, I'm still me, and I'll still be me, even if I end up getting divorced. I'll still be the same guy that helped grow a church from 500 people to over 5,000. I'll still be the same soul that others trusted to speak into their lives, relationships, and futures. I'll still be the same beast that helped get funding for, oversaw the building of, and put my own blood and sweat into several new buildings and renovations. Take me out of the role. But what I have in me that did those things won't go away. Maybe they're lying dormant for a while, but whatever it is in me that makes those things happen will be back someday. I don't care too much about losing the paycheck. I care about losing my friends and people I consider family. I am being asked not to attend my church after I leave, which is reasonable for a time. I'm just hurt. My wife isn't really acknowledging the damage she has done and that this wouldn't have happened if she handled her dissatisfaction with our marriage better. An example, if she didn't have an affair, but talked to me instead. She instead is freaking out because of how badly this will F up our lifestyle. She's afraid of losing our house. I don't give a F about the house. Anyone else here a pastor or ex-pastor who has had a similar experience? Anyone have any helpful thoughts? And the first comment says, my pastor went through this with his ex-wife. It was a shock for the whole church. It was a very difficult time. But in the end, she continued to cheat and they separated. My pastor remains in the position until today. He got married again and remains a great example for all of us. Many people left the church when all this happened, and it had several repercussions in every way. Stay firm in Christ. The time of transition, the desert is always difficult, but every desert passes. I believe they want to avoid a scandal, but when that news hits people's lips, it is quickly everyone will know it. Are you in reconciliation? And the OP replied, thank you for sharing that story. We are not in reconciliation. My wife is not interested in me. I would take her back with lots of marriage counseling and other boundaries. And the commenter replied, I'm really sorry. Focus on Christ and do therapy. Focus on your children too if you have. God's promises have not changed in your life. Is your wife with the AP? And the OP replied, no. A story for another day, but I did what I could to nuke that. AP was also married, and I told his wife everything. And the next comment says, ever heard the story of a guy that was crucified only to be resurrected? Every hero in every story has experienced a rebirth. I'm honestly excited to see where this leads you, even though you may not see it yet. One time, I climbed my way all the way up a job ladder for a decade, and a similar thing happened to me. Relationship was destroyed, and with it the job. It thrust me into a friend's riskier startup, but I made double the year I lost the job, and will probably make triple this one. The worst things had to be ripped from my hands so that they could be open to receive the better things. Have a little faith. And the OP replied, you're a champion. Thank you, stranger. I needed to read that. And our next story is titled, I caught my wife being unfaithful a couple of years ago. Let's get right into it. So, I'm going to try and explain the best I can in hopes to get advice. I'm a 30-year-old male, and my wife is 31 years old. A little backstory first. I met my wife in high school and we got together and were happy. We've been together for 14 years and have been married for 12 years. After we got married, we had 3 beautiful children, 12 years old, 8 years old, and 7. A couple of years ago, I started noticing that my wife got pretty distant and acting weird. Before this, I had some bedroom kinks while we would have intercourse. She became distant and acted weird, and I knew this because we've been together for so long. Anyways, one night while she was sleeping, I had this itching feeling to take her phone, so I did. I checked the messages, nothing. And then I checked Facebook Messenger, and this is where my heart sank to my stomach. I found conversations with her friend about a guy who I will call Jack. She would talk about how I was in the bedroom and all my secrets. I feel as though whatever goes in the bedroom should stay there. Well, apparently she took a fantasy I had and decided to act it on in real life behind my back. This went on for months, and at some point she met up with Jack. Her friend was disapproving of it, by the way. So I wake her up, mind you, that it was maybe 3 a.m. to confront her, and she said nothing other than sorry. I couldn't get it all out of her at once, but she admitted that she'd met up with Jack once, but I find that hard to believe. Anyways, I tell her that she needs to block Jack, and she did. I was all over the place as my emotions got the best of me. I said go ahead and continue as you would normally, and she didn't hesitate to re-add him as a friend. I got mad at this. She said that he's a good friend and she didn't want to lose him. So days passed and I decided to try to make it work if she tells me everything. Which she told me a lot, but to this day I feel as though she's held back on the details. I guess the question I have is, what do I do? I feel that more happened as this went on for months. If you fast forward to now, she is back to being cold towards me and yells every day that I come back, and it's eating away at my soul. Did she tell me everything before? Did she cheat more than that? Am I stupid for believing her? Is it possible that I should be worried some of the kids aren't mine? And is she doing it again? Thanks, Reddit. I know I'm all over the place, but this bothers me to no end. Any help would be appreciated. Thanks. And the OP has an update for us. I didn't expect all the feedback that I'm getting, and I want to say that I value everyone's advice. I think now I'm going to go through with paternity test and STD test. Eventually, I'll talk with a lawyer about my options and what I can/can't do. One thing I don't think I explained very well, but I had to block Jack myself as she wanted to keep him as a friend. So far, I think I've realized that my mental health is not going to be great if I keep the dirt swept under a rug. I have talked to my mother-in-law about what her daughter did to me. She didn't believe me at first, but after I said it 2 more times, she said, I can't believe her. I didn't raise her that way, and she said sorry to me. She then asked if I'm going to leave her daughter, and I said that I didn't know. Thanks for all the support you all have been giving me. I will give another update the further I go, thanks Redditors. And the first comment says, my friend, the writing is on the wall. Her refusal to get rid of him is enough proof right there. She thinks you will accept this. You're going to have to stand up for yourself. Get tested for STDs, get your kids' DNA checked. You deserve the truth and to be happy. You're going to need to take it up for yourself. Also, consult a lawyer. Good luck and keep us updated. And the OP replied, I will. I think I'll do paternity test before I start looking at other options. It'll kill me if one or more are not mine. I swept it to the side and now I'm paying the consequences of it. I don't know if I'll ever fully get that stain out, but thanks for the advice. And the commenter replied, no worries my friend, I have experienced something similar. She will change and become remorseful after she realizes you will stand against her and not tolerate the BS. She will go through the cheater phases, apologizing, blaming you, then non-chances, begging, promising you things, then she realizes her life is about to change from her own infidelity and panic will set in. Be strong, be encouraged, and for once do what's best for you and divorce or reconcile. And another commenter says, don't tell her you're doing DNA tests. And the OP replied, I'm not. Sorry to hear this, but I guess you have to prepare for the worst case. If you check here, you will find a lot of similar stories. Copy some of the texts she was sending back and forth. If she deleted them, try to recover them. Is he living close by or far away? Maybe check if she's trying to meet him. Get yourself a lawyer and discuss the divorce topic with him. Good luck." And the OP replied, "She did it all through Messenger and deleted them so I couldn't see. I found out looking at her and her friend's conversation, and her friend was condemning her for it. But my wife thought I'd seen his messages, and that's how I figured it out. She walked right into it and face planted basically. Thank you for the advice, friend." And the next comment says, "Be aware, OP. It sounds like you still think that your marriage is salvageable. It's not. And you are doing what's known as the pick-me dance. Google it. You can never win doing this. You are constantly undermining your own position. Basically, no one places any value on something that they can have for free and at any time. No one. Good luck with the DNA tests. I am not holding out much hope for you, especially with your youngest." And the OP replied, "I do really hope all of them are mine, but I'm also not going anywhere if they're not. I've raised them from birth. But yeah, I understand what you're saying." Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like the video and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss any of our future videos, and be sure to comment below what other subreddits you want me to cover.